How's it going, guys? Base back with another video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to get started in exploration in EVE Online, and this will be for some of the people who have wanted to get into exploration and just don't know what to do, or maybe have done it and just need some tips and tricks. So just quickly, I want to go over what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be showing you guys some of the tools I use when I'm exploring some of the external resources, the skills you're going to be needing, how to actually find the sites, and then once you find them, how to hack them and get the loot. And so let's just start off with our ship fit here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Alt C to pull my cargo. For you it'd be Alt R, and then you're just going to want to type in what I show you here. So we're going to want to start out with the prototype cloaking device. And actually, before I do that, let's go over the rigs. We're going to need 2 small capacitor upgrades, and these will help with our scanning small gravity capacitor upgrades. 1 5MN micro warp, relic analyzer, data analyzer, core probe launcher, 8 core scanner probes, 2 inertial stabilizers, which will help. I'll go over what they do in a little bit. Cargo scanner, nanofiber internal structure, and I believe that's it. Yep. So quickly, let's go over what these are going to do. These are going to help with the probe scanning strength, which will be a little bit easier for us to scan down these sites. A cloak is always nice to have, just so when you're scanning sites, it's going to be a little bit harder for people to catch you. You can't use it while you're hacking, but it's still going to keep you a lot safer. These obviously are going to help us scan down the site, so it's pretty simple there. Here on some of these sites, they can be like 50 kilometers away from each other, so it's going to help being able to go 2,500 meters a second in between the sites. It's going to help reduce the time at each site. Relic analyzer is going to help us. It's the tool we need to actually hack the cans at the relic sites, and same for the data analyzer. In the cargo scanner, when we're using our micro warp drive around, we're going to want to cargo scan things just to see which containers are most valuable, because I like to get the most valuables first in case I do have to warp out, in case there is a threat in the system. So these nanofiber internal structures, this is going to help make us a little bit more agile, but it does take away some hit points for us. Here, inertial stabilizers going to make us just a little bit more agile, so we can get away from people that are trying to scan us. And go ahead and right click and then change your ship's name, and then we should be good to go when we hop out. And if you want, you can go ahead and put a skin on. I always like having a skin, just makes it a little bit more interesting. So this is what your ship should look like when you're first getting started, and I'm going to go ahead and hop in my ship that I've been working towards for a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead, hop in this guy, and this is what you're going to be working towards. This is essentially the same ship with a little bit more bonuses. I can show you guys my fit. It's about the same time, almost same exact fit, except for here I'm using different modules. This will give me actual bonuses to my data and relic analyzers. So once you get your skills trained up, you can have a little bit more advanced fit, and this is what it would look like. I have a covert ops cloaking device. I'm using sister core probe scanner, or sorry, not the scanner, sister core probes. And you could run a sister core probe launcher, but that's about 32 million, and right now I'm already kind of expensive, so no need to make it even more expensive. Make sure I don't have anything in my cargo. Take those out. There you go. Same micro warp drive. You could run this as a Tech 2 if you wanted to. Here I'm using a range finding array, which will help us. It gives us a little bonus to the probes. Tech 2 data analyzer just gives us a little bit more bonus. Tech 2 relic. Tech 2 cargo scanner, as you can see, just gives me a little bit further scanning distance, which isn't a huge deal because I can only target from 50k. Nanofiber internal structures, and so I ran 2 nanofibers on here. It's personal preference at this point, but everything's essentially the same. So I am going to use this one just for the tutorial, just to make it a little bit easier to show you guys how to do the sites. So now that we've got our ship fit, let's go ahead and hit F10 and look for somewhere to go. So now that we're in the map, I like to search by ships destroyed in the last hour. And so we want to look for a site that is basically white, doesn't have all these yellow dots because those are ships destroyed. So I have a few bookmarks out there. You can see over here is decent, but we want to get into a really quiet space. Out here you can see. So ideally we want to find Nullsec or a wormhole. So out here I see pretty quiet, so I just hit a random destination, and then once I start getting into the Nullsec, I'll start scanning. And before I forget, I will be linking a page. I'll pop it up right here. I will be linking this page. This will show you which skills you should be using for exploration. It shows you what you can be training up on to give you bonuses, and this will help you a lot when you're out there doing exploration. So I will link that to give you a little bit more in depth on the skills. So I'm gonna go ahead and start jumping systems, and I'll get back to you once I see something worthwhile. Alright guys, so we're still on high sec, but I thought it would be a good time just to show you the basics of how to scan down a site and just quickly find out if it's something you want to keep scanning or not. So I'm at the gate right now, just warped in, I'm still cloaked. So what I want to do, I have a special tab, so I'm going to do it the way you guys should. Go ahead and right click, you can go to planets, click any random planet, warp to a random distance, then go ahead and click your cloak. And I always like to launch my probes right before I launch. So your window should look something like mine here. And if this is over to the side, you can go ahead and hit that right there. So first of all, I like to click the cosmic signature. And if you don't see this, make sure you don't have any filters on, because you might have a cosmic signature filter on. I usually have anomaly filters, so I only see cosmic sigs. So go ahead and drop the probes right over that. Go ahead and center it. And for now, I'm just going to be showing you guys the manual way how to do it, and then I'll be showing you a quicker way with shortcuts. And a good practice is always to be using D-scan, hitting V, checking what's around you. So you can see a Gnosis, a Retriever, and you'll just get to know what's a threat and what's not. So while this is scanning, you can see it takes about 7 seconds. We got a pretty good percentage found there. So it moved a little bit. Go ahead and center that. And I'm just hitting double click to rotate it quickly like that. And then on this second scan, we'll see it'll probably be a combat site or something irrelevant to what we need. But let's see. Wormhole. So we don't need a wormhole. So we either could right click and ignore result. Or actually, let's go ahead and scan it because we might need to come back to this later. Same thing again. What I did this time was I held Alt and then I scrolled down, or scrolled back, I guess is a better way of saying, and that's how I like to scan this a little bit quicker. Alright, so now I'm just going to go ahead and right click that, save that my wormhole's in, we'll move to the next one. Alt, scroll upwards now, center that, and then we'll scan. Guess it wasn't too centered, but should be able to get it. And then so we can see in local, we should always be watching local and D-scan. I'm cloaked, so I kind of don't D-scan as much as I need to, but especially if you're not cloaked, you should really be hitting D-scan just to make sure nobody's close to you. You kind of play with this just to see how close they are. You can see this guy is within 5 AU and kind of get a general idea of where they are. So here when they're split, what I like to do, I just like to pick the one, usually that's farthest away of where your previous combat probes are, and that's usually the best way. So let's go ahead and let this scan. Another wormhole. So I'm gonna go ahead and ignore that and then continue on. Alright guys, so we're still in Lowsec. I went out to Nullsec and it wasn't looking too good. All the main places around me are currently being camped with bubbles and warp disruptors. So You can see capsules flying around everywhere. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna scan for a wormhole connection, hopefully to another nullsec system or just a C1 through C3. So we're just gonna go ahead and start scanning. We are cloaked, but I was trying to head out. Let me show you guys. I was trying to head out here, but as you can see, camps heading out that way. It's camped. Jeez, but yeah, where I usually like to go is not gonna work out for today. But you can still see how to scan the sites. They all work the same way. Some you make a little bit more, and that's perfect because you make more in wormholes usually. And here we go. I wouldn't even risk running a site in Lowsec with this many people around. We have one of these guys around, which isn't too bad. It's another frigate like us. I don't know if he's bait or whatnot, but he might be doing another site. Let's see if there is another site here. Just to show you guys the loot in Lowsec, because that'd be nice. Where is he? He's up there somewhere. Got another wormhole. Perfect. We'll just scan all these down since we have time. So it does take some time to find some of these sites. It's not going to be right away. He's up here, huh? Yeah, everything's not going to be right away. Like you just leave undock and then you're making millions of ISK. It is going to take some time. He's just sitting out there. Which is very risky to be uncloaked like that. That's why I think it's a bait. Because I was debating about going to get my PvP ship and having some fun out here, but I would not last a minute. So there's somebody else scanning as well, which I'm assuming is this guy. Anybody else? This guy. So let's see. He's actually probably new, so he's probably doesn't know, and will most likely get popped really soon here. So I'm just waiting to see a pod come up, because that is surprising. Hopefully this is a site right here. Yeah, that's why it's important to change your name, because I would not know whose magnate that is, but he put his name on it. Relic site, perfect. It's gonna be pretty risky to do, but it will be a good example to show you what Lowsec loot is like, which is not very good, and it'll show you pretty high risk. And this will be a good time to pull up one of my resources to show you which sites are safe. So I like to use this site here. I will link it after. It tells you what pirate sites are safe. You know, the normal space regions, C1 through 3. But I like to use this down here, and I like to see relic sites, Lowsec, decayed, boom, it's safe. And if we see a regional in Lowsec, it's safe. So I'm mostly in Lowsec, so I look for central and ruins usually. If you see an improved or standard, these are ghost sites, and that'd be pretty cool to run, but don't worry about those now. So we want to see if he's out here. So I'm just going to warp real quick just to make sure he's not at that site, or nobody's at that site. He's gone, so I wonder if he died. So perfect time. Another thing to pull up would be Z kill board. So right here we see our system. Let me go ahead and pull it off to the side real quick. Type in our system, Akora, pull this back up, and you can leave this aside. You can see people have been getting killed. A magnate. Oh, there he is. That's convenient, right? He just died, like I was saying. See, he is new, but he wasn't gonna last very long. So I'm just gonna keep this to the left, and then I am gonna head to the site, which is probably really stupid. But we're gonna go ahead and do it anyway. For later, he prim new as well. Alright, so we're gonna approach this site, and this is why I was saying having this is important, because we want to get to this site quick. We're gonna lock it, cargo scan it, orbit it, and turn this off. I'm just gonna try to run this site. We're just gonna approach right here. Turn that off, approach, and this whole time we're gonna want to turn this down to about 10 AU, and then keep on the D scan, keep it in the peripheral while you're scanning, and if you see anything unusual move or pop up over there, we are going to take notice. People are starting to leave, and I'm just going through this one quickly just to get through it. I will explain how to do these, but with all these people here, it's not too easy. Alright, so let's head to the next one here, and I'll actually explain how we do this. So I'm gonna go ahead and approach this one. I usually orbit. Core probe scanners, devoter. Okay. So we're gonna want to approach this, cargo scan it, and then once we approach, we're gonna want to align to our warp out gate. This might be decent here. So once we approach it, we're at the 5K. We're gonna want to stop the ship. This is gonna take longer, but this is gonna help us in the long run. We're gonna want to align to, and then stop the ship. Hopefully we're still within range. I think we're just barely within range. So now that we're already aligned, if somebody does pop up here, we can hop out really quick. So let's open this, check the D scan. So we're just gonna look for the numbers here. You saw 1, a 2, 3. We're basically think of hot and cold. This is the way I think about it. So the lower the number is, the hotter you are towards something good. This is a defense system which you have to go through to move on. Here's a utility. I'm going to go over those more in depth. Another utility, and I would like to show how to use those utilities. So we're looking for a 1. Okay, perfect. So you can hover over this. This is the antivirus. So this basically hits you for 40 and has 50 health. So over here we have 100 health and hit for 40. So if we hit it once, I won't use these just yet. If we hit it once, we're gonna take 40 damage. But if we hit it again, we won't take damage because we will kill it completely. These basically knock it in half. So if I hit that in the first place and I knocked it in half, I would have taken no damage, but it's okay. So this is what we're looking for. This is the system core. Let's go ahead and take our kernel rot. Click that a few times, open up. Now we're gonna approach it real quick because gotta go get our loot. Another capsule. People are just getting potted left and right here, so we're gonna want to be super careful. Not bad for Lowsec. So we're gonna want to approach this. We have wormholes. I believe I bookmarked both of them. Yep. So like I said, for when there's people around, we're on the D scan, we're looking, we're approaching, aligning to our target, and stopping the ship, because then if somebody pops up, I'm just going to warp off instantly. I'm gonna go ahead and lock it, and then I will do it a little bit faster. So 3, 2, 1. I'll go over that little white circle here in a second. So this little white circle here, it's a data cache. This can either have something good, a utility subsystem, or a virus defense system. And you don't want to hit these unless it's a last ditch resort, because they could have something bad. This time we had something good in it, but a lot of the times they'll have a virus in it, which will not help your hacking. So let's go ahead and lock that, head over there. I'm gonna pulse this once. We're gonna approach it. As you can see, it has 1 carbon in it. So just by doing that, we can see that it's not valuable to us. So that's another good reason to have the cargo scanner, because we can see it's not worth it to us to actually do that. So far we've almost made $1 million, which is about half the price of our Tech 1 ship, which you guys should be flying. So that is pretty good for Lowsec, but we're gonna make a lot more when we head into a wormhole. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and lock that up. See, we see things in there, we're gonna wanna approach. Once we get like right on it, we're approaching, we're aligning to, we're stopping the ship. Okay, stop, or align. So now if somebody hops in, we'll almost be able to instantly click this button and warp off. So hitting D-scan constantly. We don't see too many people around us. I don't think they're that worried about us here. That was a quick one. And was it this one that didn't have anything? That's why having a cargo scan is important here. It might have been that one. Okay, no, this one has a few 100,000 worth of loot. So we're gonna go up. Okay, we see tornadoes in cranes. So I haven't seen this ship before personally, but I see it only takes a day to fly. So it's a battle cruiser. Well, that's a day to fly for me, but it's a battle cruiser, which is something that could put a damper on our day. So we want to keep an eye out, but he's probably not too focused on our small ship here. So let's orbit, turn this off. Approach, slow us down a little bit, approach it. It's okay to take our time here because it's worth it being safe. And when we get about 1 kilometer away, we're gonna want to align to, and then stop our ship. So perfect, we're sitting pretty close to it, and if anybody jumps towards us, we'll be able to almost instantly warp off. So again, we're looking for these smaller numbers, 4, 3, 2, 1. These are gonna repair you. So for 3 turns, it's gonna repair you said by 8. So you can see it went up a little. And this is perfect. This is a virus restoration node. If you don't kill these right away, you will probably fail the hack. So watch this over here as I hit this. Each time you hit it, it gives a bonus to coherence to another virus. Perfect. So 5 million, that's pretty decent for a Lowsec site. So that's completely paid for the ship. So you can see we warped off pretty quick here. If somebody jumped in, they wouldn't have been able to get us. So I'm gonna be heading into a wormhole, hopefully gonna find a C1 through 3 site to show you what the loot's gonna be like. I have this bookmarked. Let's go ahead and jump through. You can always right click and look at this. This is a general wormhole, but leads into deep space. Usually collapse after a few days. Leads into high security space. So actually we don't want to go into high security. Oh, already popped us in. It took us actually pretty close back back home actually. So let's save this as a wormhole in, and then we're in Lowsec, so I'm just gonna say Lowsec. So now when we get back out, let's put that in chat just to remember. Hopefully nobody's waiting on the other side for us. I'll click this. I'll go to the signature and type in GRAS. So maybe on the way back, if I don't want to risk going through all those bubbles, I can jump through there and get back and sell my loot a lot faster. So let's head to the next one. Right now, we have about, let me take out my scanner probes. How about 7 million in loot? So that's not bad so far. That should pay for a few of our ships if we got back safe, and that's only in a low sec site, which I wouldn't recommend doing because it's more dangerous. That's the best way I can say. More dangerous and usually doesn't pay that well. So let's check out what this is. Deep space, unknown parts of space. That's perfect. So let's jump in, connect a location so we can know what to call it when we hop in. Nice. This is perfect. So even if we can use this site or not, I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, I can't do that. We'll just call it J1 for now. This is the wormhole in. I need to bookmark it. Make sure you bookmark a wormhole every time you go in, because it can be bad if you're in here with all these systems and you can't get out. So I'm gonna go ahead and submit. I'm gonna warp out, launch our probes, and cloak. So this is a perfect time to tell you guys, and this is a really good wormhole if it's C3 or above. This is a perfect time to use another tool called Pathfinder. So you can see we came from here and it's going to track us through the wormhole. So right now we're in this system and we're in a C3, so this can be a very profitable system for us. So we're in a C3 site right now, or wormhole, which means we can find relic sites that have pirate factions. So we're going to go ahead and keep scanning here. And this is really nice for us. Hopefully we don't see anybody on D-scan, because this can be really profitable for us. And hopefully I can show you guys me scanning all of the sites. It may be a longer video, but it will be worth it in the end. Gas site, go ahead and ignore that. And in these C3 sites, you can also find the sites that you can't go to. So if we pull this back up, you can also find forgotten sites and unsecured a lot, but that doesn't mean the other ones can't spawn. So perfect example, this is a data site. It may say unsecured, and if it does, we don't want to go to it. If it says, you know, regional Garistas or ruined, or central sparking, something like that. There we go, Central Sanchez. So that's really nice for us. So that's only the second site we scanned, and we've already found a pretty profitable site. So we're on D-scan. I don't use D-scan too much when I'm cloaked. I probably should use it a lot more. We're heading into the site, so we're going to need to pay attention. All right, so we're in here. This is a data site. They don't tend to pay out as much, but it's going to be a lot better than the Lowsec site. So let's go ahead and approach. I'm going to go ahead and stay cloaked because I still want to scan a little bit. But when you start out, I recommend not scanning while you're trying to do the sites. I'm usually pretty safe, but like I said, that's usually. All right, let's go ahead and scan it. Has a little bit of an activation timer. Let's set with wormhole. Let's go wormholes in. And all this time we're on D-scan, making sure nothing pops up. I'm going to use our data analyzer for this one. I accidentally forgot to throw my data analyzer 2 on. Okay, so let me go ahead and save that, and then we will get back to that. So here, data sites work almost the same, but from my experience, data sites, they have a lot more systems like that and viruses, and they don't pay as well. So they'll make you work a lot harder for it and usually not pay as good. But we are in a wormhole, so it should be pretty good for us here. But as you can see, 5,000 wasted time. Probably should have cargo scanned it, but I was busy scanning, being stupid. But this could be profitable. If these all turn out to be a ton of sites, I might just time lapse it and show you guys what the total is when I come out. But if it's only a few of them, I will show you guys all of it. So we're gonna cargo scan that. Boom, boom. This will be a few million. Went right to it, perfect. On that D-scan, I should have been. Those data chips usually are worth about 1 million each, I thought. So on this, I'm gonna want to pulse that, cargo scan it when we're on the way. By the way, sorry if I haven't mentioned it earlier, I'm hitting Alt-P to pull up my probe launchers. Oh, there's a Nzxt. So, cloaking up. So, there's a Nzxt around us within 5 and a Loki, so we're probably gonna want to warp out. They're using combat probes, but so that means they are actively in the site and looking for me, so it's probably not a good idea to be here. So we're gonna go ahead and hop out because these guys do want to kill me. You can look at their ships real quick. The Loki, the Nzxt, both very strong ships. So for now, let's try to maybe take another wormhole. I can scan, so I'm gonna scan, see if I see any other sites, just to kind of taunt them so they know they can't get me. They pulled the combat probes in. They could be, you know, probing each other, you never know. Let's go ahead and go over to Z-kill again. See if possibly they killed each other. 4-7, 4-4. C3 pulsar. Nobody's been killed here for about a week. So let me see while I'm scanning that. Let's make sure I'm cloaked. It looks like these might be the guys who are running the site, who own it. Or it could have just been for that day. But let's go ahead and keep scanning here. They might be waiting for me to go back to the site. I'm kind of interested to hop back here and see what happens. So I'm gonna warp in at 30 just to see what happens and maybe teach you guys a lesson. I wouldn't recommend doing sites if you know there's people trying to actively kill you. It's not fun being chased down, but it's only my probes up, so maybe they thought I left, I don't know, but we can kind of mess around with them, go up to a site real quick, hack it, go away. It is taking a little bit longer than I would like, but something we can do. And Astero's here as well. So this is a pretty active site. We probably want to get out of as soon as possible. It would have paid well, but looks like there's a lot of people around me. And the Nzxt. So yeah, probably actually shouldn't do this. Let's go ahead and warp out. This is way too busy for a wormhole. I usually don't see anybody in here, or in any wormholes, sorry. And this is a great site, but it might have some connections to high sec that people keep jumping through, and it's not worth me losing all my loot that I have so far. I did find a relic site. I would like to show you guys the loot in here and make for an interesting video here. Try to sneak a relic site in. So they aren't too close to me. So we found a ruined angel site. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna try to hack these sites as fast as I can. Not gonna go over what I'm doing. Just gonna hack them as fast as I can to find the best ones and then get out. So nobody's been here so far. We're gonna jettison scraps. I usually do carbon. Cloaked. So we're jettison just so people get decloaked. We're gonna approach. We're scanning here. I'm sure you'll see people try to combat probe us really quick. Usually the ruin sites are the best, so I'm gonna go ahead and check that one out. No items found in the ruin. We're gonna double check that. Perfect. So it's good to see what sites actually have loot in them, because we would have been wasting our time in a really dangerous space for no reason. So how much did this have? 2 million? Not bad. Was this the ruins that had nothing? I believe so. I'm gonna check one more time and head over to this one. Yep. Here's the Loki. He popped up for a second. If I see, I'm gonna go up to this site real quick, approach it, and then align out. I saw him for a second. He might be scanning. I'm just hitting D-scan a ton here. Aligning to, because I really don't want to get caught by Loki. Alright, we're at a good spot here. I'm just spamming V. Just constantly spamming it. Probably gets annoying, but that's okay. Because we need to get this loot and get out here. Really needed that. Oh, there's a good example of why you shouldn't go too fast. Another 2 million. I'm gonna approach that guy. Okay, so that has good loot, the remains. No items found in the remains. So we're headed towards the... Perfect. Nothing in the remains. We're scanning again. I'm gonna go ahead and orbit this. Oh, the Loki's back. That's what I meant to be approaching. I don't see him yet. 2 Lokis probably. There they go. Combat probes. Time for us to leave. That means they really want to kill us. So, see you later. All right. So out of that, we got a few million. We're up to 15 million. Hopefully I can show you... I should probably be cloaked. Hopefully I can show you one site. I can do a whole site without getting found, but they will not be able to find me. Let's go to a wormhole. I don't want this video to be too long, but I do want to do 1 or 2 more relic sites and then show you the last tool I like to use while exploring. Yeah, they're really trying to get me. I really want to laugh at them. You're never supposed to talk in Wormhole, but I always like to taunt people and make them mad. Because they're sitting here all day waiting for people to come in to kill, and you're not going to kill me. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend talking in Wormhole space. Alright, so let's pop up Pathfinder. Wait for that to populate on the side here. So we're in a C4. Can't do any of the sites in here, so we're gonna go ahead and hop back in. Maybe I should have came here to find another site out, but I really only need to do one more site just to get the idea. Warp to location, edit, C4. Yeah, we really only need to do one more site for you guys to get the idea of how exploration looks. U210, that is Lowsec. You can hit this real quick just to see. Yeah, they're just chilling in Loki's in there. So we're over here in Lone Trek. By the Citadel, huh? Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back in that C4 wormhole, see if I can scan down any quieter wormholes, and then if not, I will end the video here. If I can find another wormhole with a decent site in it, I want to go through a whole one without being interrupted to show you guys, but I will see you then. Right now, we found a Ruined Angels monument site, which should be really good for us. I haven't seen anybody in DC, and the last 2 or 3 wormholes I've been in have been really active for like unusually active. So this should be pretty chill for us here so I can show you guys how much you should make from a wormhole site. So we're gonna go ahead, decloak, still hit D-scan, even though I haven't seen anybody and I've been watching it for a while. Doesn't mean there can't be anybody. We're gonna wanna approach this and hit that. So as you can see here, these are all really far away. They're all pretty much in a line, but that's where you're gonna wanna use this. And at 55K, I should be able to lock it. Run this, and this will be a good example for me to show you on my last tool I believe I have to show you guys. Oh, this is gonna be really nice for us. So we're gonna hit Control A, Control C. Then we're gonna wanna go to this site called evasion. We're gonna wanna paste it in, and we can see how much about this is worth. So we see, if you don't know how much it's worth, or if it's worth hacking, you can always use evasion to justify it. So this is going to be a harder can since it is worth more, but I'm going to run through it pretty quick here. Hate these guys. A nice kernel rot, and there's a trick here. I saw another video on it, he explained it perfectly, but when there is, I believe these are 6, if you ever hit in the middle of these, you should never find a virus unless you are on the core itself. So in the middle here, I would never get hit with the virus unless the core is on it. Core is probably right over here, I'm hoping. There we go. So that's why you always go in the middle like that. 9 million, so underestimated there. So that's pretty good. We're gonna wanna hit V on D-scan. Nobody's biased, really nice here. So far we've made a decent amount. We've already paid for our cheaper ships, and you can do this in a cheaper ship. You might just have to be a little bit more careful. 2, 1, nice. I just want to get out into open air around here. Probably get hit with something. There we go. And here we, oh, got a little bit too excited. Always on D-scan as well. 2 million, not bad. I'm a little bit more on edge than usual because the activity that's been going on, but it's not a huge deal. So yeah, Control A, Control C, V, put it over on the side here, about 1 million. I just like to do that just to make sure, because sometimes there's a lot of stuff in there and it's only worth like 500,000, so at that point it's not worth it for me. Another good example of why you shouldn't go too fast. But since I've trained up my skills, I can make mistakes a little bit. more often than you guys would be able to. So for you guys, I would go, you know, really slow, like 2, count out 1. So it's probably right around there. Do a little bit of a repair. Might be here, that's what I'm hoping. Oh, there he goes, all the way out there. Nobody on D-scan, which is pretty good. All right, hit that. And then after that, we have a data site to hit. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna finish these. I'm gonna go through that C2 that I found. And then I'm gonna show you guys a total after what should be about an hour. I'm gonna show you guys how much I made. Oh, here we go. There we are. 4 million, not bad. Not bad at all. And I just like to press W to quickly orbit that. I like to hit with the cargo scan. 35 mil is not too bad so far. We're on D-scan still. You don't have to use these after you've been hurt. Sometimes I just use them right off the bat just to give me full HP there. Just call it full coherence, actually. Perfect. Very cheap. Let's head over to our data site, which probably will not pay out as much. And I also found a drone that was worth $1 million hopping into one of these wormholes, and actually I saw the guy come back to get in. I was like, oh. So let's see. We're gonna stack all of these. Boom. So 33 million so far. You could probably do that in about a half an hour to 45 minutes if you didn't run into those guys like I did. I think it's the data banks that are worth it the most. But it looks relatively safe. Good example of one of these. I hate these because it's a defense subsystem virus suppressor, and as you see, it says the suppressor defense, when it's active, your virus strength is reduced, so we're down to 15 points there. So while that's up, it's going to be nearly impossible to take down any strong core or virus, so you need to get those almost immediately. Virus restoration, not fun. So they're really protecting something here. You would like to think, but it's a data site, so like I was saying, a lot of times they'll put a lot of these out for, you know, what is this, a few 100,000, $1 million, and you see how much came up there. So we're gonna try it one more time. Check in D-scan. We're gonna try it one more time, and if you do fail these, they do blow up, which I don't really care on this one at this point. Looks a little bit easier here. So yeah, it would be a little bit harder if you're on lower skills, but definitely doable. You just have to be a little bit more careful. So I will go finish the next sites and see you then. Alright, so the wormhole I just went through actually has a nice connection. Let me bookmark that. I don't know if it saved it or not. Let me just make sure. See, that was C3. It was supposed to have another connection, but it has a connection to Lowsec, and I'm only a few jumps away from Jita, so I'm just gonna go ahead, head to Jita real quick, and show you guys how to sell the loot that you got. And this is pretty poor. Usually, if I got to scan that one site that I found, sorry, I had to move there. If I got to scan that one site that I found with like 15 cosmic signatures, I probably would have been double to triple this, but unfortunately I didn't, so we'll just have to work with what we have. And as you can see, one quick site, I believe our ship was 40 million. Yep, we doubled. So one quick run took us about 45 minutes, pays for our ship, and now our ship's paid off, and now we can go explore for free and just make pure profit now. Alright, so the wormhole I just went through actually has a nice connection. Let me bookmark that. I don't know if it saved it or not. Let me just make sure. See, that was C3. It was supposed to have another connection, but it has a connection to Lowsec, and I'm only a few jumps away from Jita, so I'm just gonna go ahead, head to Jita real quick, and show you guys how to sell the loot that you got. And this is pretty poor. Usually, if I got to scan that one site that I found, sorry, I had to move there. If I got to scan that one site that I found with like 15 cosmic signatures, I probably would have been double to triple this, but unfortunately I didn't, so we'll just have to work with what we have. And as you can see, one quick site, I believe our ship was 40 million. Yep, we doubled. So one quick run took us about 45 minutes, pays for our ship, and now our ship's paid off, and now we can go explore for free and just make pure profit now. Alright guys, so now that you're back at your trade hub, I prefer Jita. Go ahead and right click. We're gonna go ahead and look for stations, Moon 4, Navy Assembly Plant. So we're gonna go ahead and dock up there, and I will show you the two ways you can sell.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
A little bit of lag there, I don't actually know why. Okay. So now that we're back in our base, go ahead and hit Alt-C. Let's get everything in here that we don't need out. Go ahead and hit Control-A to select all. Deselect what you need. Drag this into your item hanger. Control-A. Then deselect the things you don't want to sell. I have a lot of blueprints I need to get rid of that are worth nothing that I found from exploration. Some of them are worth a few thousand. This one's worth like 40 million or something. I meant worth a few million. Make sure that's everything we're trying to sell. See if there's any skill books you need injected. I want to keep that. Go ahead and right click, sell items. So here, this is the quickest way to sell all your items. Not always the most efficient. Sometimes I've gotten equal to or more than what it says here, so we're just gonna have to look at it. 31 million. Don't worry if you find these are usually worth 20 to 40% less than their actual value. We're getting close. 33. If we can get to 35, I would be like decently happy with that. Okay, so we didn't. These are not worth anything. They're worth about 200 normally. I don't need them, so I'm fine with selling them. We just go through. Can we get any more for these? They want to buy them for. They're selling for about 3,700. We can sell them for about 2,700 instantly. I only have 2 of them, so it would only be a few thousand anyway. Not a huge deal. These, like I said, not a big deal. Market info. Only going about 700 off there. So overall, not bad. Thought it'd be worth a little bit more, but some of these things are actually worth about 0. But we got pretty close. So if you really wanted to, you could go ahead and change these to a day order and then put your own price in. But I would like my money now so I can go use it for other things. So we're gonna go ahead and hit sell, and it'll tell you things that are hugely discounted. Let's see what they're talking about. See if there's any issues. Let's try to sell this one real quick. You can see we got 33 million into our account, and then we just sold those real quick. Put that into my combat gear, and now we're good to go. So now that we've paid off our ship, we are, you know, profitable by a large amount, because if our ship was worth, our other ships was worth a few hundred thousand to about $1 million. I think it came out to 2 million. And so we just paid for a ton of ships, made a lot of profit, and now we can go try other things out there. So I do really hope this helped you guys. If you guys did enjoy it, please subscribe if you've stayed this long. Leave a like, leave comments if there is any questions you have or anything you would like to see me do in the future. But I think we're gonna have to end it here, and I will see you guys in the next one.